is a foundation. It's literally just getting the blood flowing throughout the forearm and the hands. They all want to play loud and fast. That's kind of in our blood. So we kind of force them we turn them into musicians. So we're going to do the exact same exercise, and we had some dynamics and some shaping to it. Both playing at forte and also at piano. So we have what we call an accent stroke, full stroke, then a tap stroke, which is the piano. So then we have thousands and thousands of combinations we can use between accents and taps, getting them to control the stick. So this one here is based on a very popular Afro-Cuban rhythm, which is called clave. It's kind of like the heartbeat rhythm of all Afro-Cuban music. So the accents that you're hearing is based on a clave rhythm. So we take that, and then to work on their listening skills, is I'm going to have the snare drums do what you just heard, and the basses and the tenors are going to flip the rhythm around. So now you're going to hear the accents kind of pass back and forth between the sections. Kind of adds to the cool factor of the exercise.
We have some.
Incorporate a concept, what we call is a double stroke. We kind of do two quick notes in the same hand at the same, right consecutively. It's just, again, controlling the implement. So we have a couple exercises that are going to highlight that. So this is called, we call this double beat. So you're going to see very active wrist motion, one hand at a time. Them thinking a little differently with their approach to the instrument. Now, to add to the cool factor, we're going to actually shift that rhythm around, and I've got the snares doing one thing, the tenors are doing something else, and the basses are doing something different. But you're going to hear that rhythm that you just heard embedded in this. Putting that one together. Again, it's working on their listening skills, listening within their own section, and then also what's going on at the same time in the other section. The last technique-based exercise we're going to play here for you, we call is a diddle exercise. We have all these cool terms in the drumming world. You're going to hear some real cool ones later on here in a second. But so this diddle, so it's what you just saw was two wrist motions. It's kind of the analogy I used with them is knocking on a door. Knock, 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 knock. Now what they're going to do is one wrist motion, two notes. They actually allow the stick to bounce. So bounce is too boring of a term, so somebody 100 years ago decided to call it a diddle. So we go with it. So this is a diddle-based exercise. It's all based around 16 notes. Stuff. Again, we ventured off in about another dozen or so avenues talking about some more advanced and intermediate concepts. But that's, again, just the foundation from a technique standpoint. Now, we have about 80 of them this year in the group, so it's hard to get a sense of a one-on-one connection with 80 of them all drumming at the same time. So we break the mass group up into 4 smaller drum lines, and they each worked on their own small cadence. So this first group, and here come the cool names at you, by the way. The first group is called the Patty Fla Flas, and I didn't just make that up. Patty Fla Fla. That is a rudiment. In drumming, we don't deal with pitches and scales and that kind of stuff. To us, it's rudiments that date back well over 100 years of how we put together right-hand and left-hand combinations. So Patty Fla Fla is the name of a popular rudiment, and it sounds cool. So these guys are called the Patty Fla Fla groups. Yamaha Corporation supplies us with these great books, this resource which is loaded with exercises, cadences which you're about to hear, and a bunch of stuff that's actually geared for after the camp. So you're about to hear 4 of the cadences that are out of the Yamaha book. This first one is entitled Groovin'. Very cool. All right, our next group up here is we are calling the Ratabacues. And you can't call it Ratabacue because that doesn't work. It's got to be Ratabacue because that's what it sounds like when you drum. Rakatata, rakatata. So Ratabacue group. These guys have been working on a piece called We Be Jammin'.
We Be Jammin'.
next group we are calling the Flammadiddles. Just gonna get them situated here. Slide over, slide over, slide over, slide over. What was neat with an extended camp, like I'm used to doing these Yamaha Sounds of Summer camps, they're 2 days. But this one being 4.5, we actually got into some ethnic drum circle stuff with them, some mallet percussion stuff with them. We got to watch some DVDs from DCI groups and WGI groups. So we're able to incorporate a whole bunch of different things throughout the week to just enhance their experience. Okay, so we've got the Flammadiddles here doing a piece entitled Yip. We've been calling them the breakout groups. We break into these 4 smaller drum lines. Our last breakout group is called the Flam Fives. And they're performing a cadence entitled Maraca 2. Then we've got one more coming at you, and before we play that, I want to thank Scott again and everybody here, the administration, everybody associated with the summer band camp. Awesomely run, it's great. The food at the dining hall rocks, by the way. Thank again to my 4 assistants. Had a great time working with them all week. So we're going to end with everybody playing, and this is called Chop House.
Let's hear it again for the Summer Band Camp's Drumline Camp.